Thank you, Izinwa. Company Secretary, more formally. I hereby declare that a quorum has been formed in accordance with Article 62(1) of the Articles of Association of the company. Kindly permit me to deal with preliminary matters before we proceed to the business of the day. Do we still need the HSE briefing? Yes. Okay. Please, let's have the HSE briefing, please.
Good morning, distinguished guests. My name is Emeka. I work with the Loss Prevention Department. Before the commencement of any event, we always give safety briefing to our guests to guide them for proper safety and security measures in terms of evacuation if there's any emergency. But at first, we have convenience at the first floor here. We have 3 convenience for the females and the males also. 3 emergency stairways are located in this floor. One is directly just beside the brasserie restaurant. There's one close to the other meeting rooms at the other area there, but now we're talking of access because presently the hotel is undergoing renovation. So there are some specific places that access will not be direct like that. But the 3rd one is just located just near you too, just by the other meeting rooms there. And also we have a muster point where we direct our guests to in case of any emergency situation. While driving in from the main entrance at the car park, at the left side of the car park, we have a flag area. That's the muster point we created for our guests also. And also we have various firefighting techniques located in this hall, like sprinklers. We have fire extinguishers located at various sections also. We have an audio receiving center, which is the control room. We give out instructions from there in case of any emergency, of which we know that the elevators are always disabled. They are not functional in terms of any emergency. We have trained personnel also that will direct you to the muster point. But what we just imply in our guests is that please remain calm and listen to instructions through personnel on ground and through the audio centers. And also, we advise our guests, to always watch out for profuse wires to avoid trips and falls. Because of panicking, we might fall into such situation, but at being calm all times will make us to move around freely and help us to eradicate any form of incident that will occur. I think I encourage you to have a nice day, sir. I'm sorry for the breaking.
Thank you very much. I will also enjoin all those who are joining us virtually to be mindful of their immediate surroundings and noteful of the emergency exits at their location. Please note that because this meeting is being held by proxy, having regard to public health and safety, all the directors could not be physically present at this EGM. However, I can confirm that I have their proxies and that they are following their meetings from their respective locations. I will now introduce the board of directors. 1, starting with Alhaji Issa Inoa, independent non-executive director, joining us virtually. Alhaji, to my extreme right, good morning, sir, is Mr. Chidi Agbapu, non-executive director. Next to him is the managing director, our own Amazon, Mrs. Neka. My name is Mustafa Chikiobi, and I'm by the grace of God the chairman of the board of directors. And to my immediate left is the company secretary, the indomitable Mrs. Ezinwa. I know she's your favorite. I will now introduce other directors who are present by proxy, and their pictures will be displayed on the screen. I will start with Pastor Kings Akuma. They should show his picture. They should show his picture. No, wait. Engineer Henry Obi, Mrs. Amaka Omugalo, Chief Nelson C. Nweke, Mr. Chinedu Okeke, the young Chinedu, the young shall grow, Mrs. Moro Hunke Bameke, Mr. Hassan Imam, Mr. Kevin Ugoke, Dr. Ken Opara, and last but not the least, he's here physically, Mr. Stanley Amuchie. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the representatives of our regulators who are physically present at this meeting. Central Bank of Nigeria, represented by Mrs. Nkechi Okoro. Thank you, ma. Nigerian Exchange Group, represented by Mr. Obioma Oge. It's not here? Oh, virtually, I'm sorry. Securities and Exchange Commission, represented by Mrs. Kelechi Azubuike Luke. Virtually as well? Yeah, she's there. Yeah, there she is. The other regulatory bodies are joining us virtually, and I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Nigerian Deposit Insurance Commission, NDIC, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRC, and the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. I would also like to recognize the representatives of our external auditors, Deloitte and Touche, Mrs. Yetunde Odetayo, our registrars, First Registrars and Investors Limited, represented by Mrs. Mudukbe Ajibotafe. Thank you. Please permit me to introduce the following shareholders who are at this meeting. Chief Frank Onwu, Ms. Sasoni Wosu, I don't see. Oh, there he is. Mrs. Adebisi Bakare, Dr. Umar Farouk, Doctor, Mr. Ngona Awo. There you are. Mr. Gbenga Idowu, let us in prayer. Mrs. Ade Tutu Sinyambola, you are welcome. Mr. Patrick Ajudwa, Mrs. Esther Augustine, Chief Boniface Okezie, the chief himself, yes. Mr. Adetunji Bamidele, yes. Mr. Gafar Erin Folami, yes. Alhaja Ayodele Kudaisi. Finally, last but not the least, Mr. Peter Eyonaku. Yellow. Having completed the preliminary matters, we will now proceed to the formal business of the day by calling on the Company Secretary to read the notice of the meeting.
Thank you, Chairman. Notice is hereby given that an extraordinary general meeting of members of Fidelity Bank PLC will hold at 10 a.m. on Thursday, September 29, 2022, at Jupiter Hall, 4 Points by Sheraton, Plot 9/10, Block 2, Oniru, Victoria Island, Lagos, to transact the following business. Special business. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as special resolutions. That in furtherance of the provisions of Section 124 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulation 2021, and pursuant to paragraphs 9 and 10 of the Articles of Association of a Company, the Board of Directors of a company be and is hereby authorized to issue, by way of private placement, the 3,037,414,308 unissued ordinary shares of 50 kobo each in the share capital of a company, being not more than 30% of the company's existing issued shares and paid up capital to potential investors. That the private placement shall be carried out in conformity with applicable laws and subject to procurement of all regulatory approvals. That the members, in recognition of the need to ensure that the company's share capital is aligned with the requirements under applicable laws, hereby waive their preemptive rights in respect of the 3,037,414,308 unissued ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to be issued by the company by way of private placement. that the said shares issued in accordance with Resolution 1 above shall rank pari passu with all the company's existing issued shares. That the Board of Directors be and is hereby authorized to perform all such lawful acts as are necessary to give effect to the above listed resolutions, including but not limited to ensuring compliance with all regulatory procedures and requirements, obtaining all required approvals, and filing within time all regulatory returns in relation to the above resolutions, dated the 31st day of August 2022, by order of the Board. I crave your indulgence to refer you to the notes accompanying the notice. Thank you. Thank you, shareholders.
Thank you, Ezinwa.
Thank you, sir.
Before we proceed to the special business of the day, please permit me to provide some background and context to the resolutions to be proposed for your approval at today's meeting. Please recall that pursuant to Section 124 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, CAMA, Regulation 13 of the Companies Regulations 2021, provides that any company with unissued shares in its share capital at the time of commencement of CAMA 2020 must issue such shares by 30th June 2021, failing which the company and its officers shall be liable to a daily default penalty. The Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments subsequently approved extension of the deadline for compliance to December 31, 2022. Kindly also recall that at your company's 34th annual general meeting on May 5th, 2022, our esteemed shareholders authorized the Board of Directors to take every necessary step to ensure your company's compliance with Regulation 13 of the Companies Regulation and provisions of Section 124 of CAMA in respect of the unissued shares in the share capital of the company. After considering the options, the Board resolved that the company's outstanding 3 billion plus unissued ordinary shares of 50 kobo each shall be disposed of by way of private placement to strategic investors to enable the company to generate additional capital for continued growth in line with its objectives. We assure you that the Board considered various options, including right issue, bonus issue, and public offer, before deciding that the private placement is the best option. A bonus issue will not yield any additional capital for the bank, while rights issues and public offer may be unsuccessful given the current rate of the economy, rising inflation, the depressed equity market, and competing outlets for shareholders' funds. The advantages of a private placement include certainty of success, timely transaction completion compared to other options. The bank is on a strong growth trajectory and needs additional capital for growth and expansion. Continuing advances in technology, the rapid evolution of the business of banking, and changes in the operating landscape make it imperative that the bank remains agile, adaptable, and properly positioned to respond appropriately to developments, whilst remaining a competitive and forward-looking institution. The proposed resolutions are aimed at ensuring that your company can take advantage of emerging business opportunities and secure long-term profitability and competitive advantage, while ensuring increased shareholder value and compliance with extant regulations. It is against this background that the resolutions proposed for adoption as this EGM are being presented for your approval. We will now take your questions, comments on the proposed resolutions. I crave your indulgence to limit your questions, comments to any issue that was not covered in the background that I've just presented. I will recognize a few shareholders either to ask questions or make comments, and because of time, we will be limiting this interaction, this interactive session. I'm told by my boss here, Ezinwa, that I should take only 3 questions, but I think this is important, so I will extend it to. I will extend it to 5. So if you are not recognized, please do not take offense. It's just that we have to do this in a tight fashion. So I will start with Sir Sonny Wosu.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Well, I came into this meeting with only 3 points. One is what I will discuss with the MD later, with management. That is on the investment aspect. So I'll discuss because I have a clear idea where you are heading to. I've been a member of that place early 80s, so I can tell you certain things that will help us to benefit from the investment.
I think he's referring to Union Bank UK.
Yeah. Okay. So the second one is about preemptive requests you are asking for. And I want to say very clearly, to whom much is given, much is expected. You get the preemptive request you made, but remember that in the future we have to compensate those that gave preemptive right to you. That's why I say to whom much is given, much is expected. So preemptive in the sense that I am one of those who actually oppose this cancellation, but I've come to realize after my discussion with Stanley, the AD, for a very long time, discovered that time is of essence. We do not have to start giving out good money to the regulators in penalty again. Therefore, I'm in support of that. If you ask the people here, they will tell you for the first time I'm giving a straight support to this kind of idea, because I strongly believe that we have spent a lot of money in registering those shares, and therefore the shareholders need to benefit from it. But when we look at the time factor, it will not benefit us, you know, because after 31st December, definitely there will be a penalty that will be imposed on those that fail to act on that directive. So those are just my few words. So definitely I'm here to support this. And I'm also here to tell you that I have a lot of ideas to pass to the bank in respect of the investment in UK, which is very important to some of us who are account holders and Nigerians over there too. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think this is a healthy development for our bank. You are the first bank not to cancel the shares, to ensure that you are strengthening our capital. Perhaps sooner rather than later, CBN may be asking banks to shore up their capital. And as such, the money you are bringing as a result of this private placement will increase our share capital. So I commend you for this. And like you said, many companies have decided to cancel the shares for the fear that the economy is not right for rights issues. So the fact that now we have investors who will participate in the private placement is very, very encouraging. I'm happy, Mr. Chairman, with the performance of the bank. Fidelity Bank giving an interim dividend, I mean, it's very encouraging. And we hope and pray that the bank will continue to progress despite the economic situation in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Funke Augustine, a shareholder of the bank. Mr. Chairman, today we shareholders are very happy to give you the support you needed from us, because any bank that know what is doing and come forward to the shareholder that we should give them support, we have nothing to do than to give the support you needed. And we are very happy that this year we are receiving 2 dividends. We have interim one and the final. So we are very happy with the management of Fidelity Bank, and I will urge you to do more better than this. we are going to give you any support you are needed from us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What questions we can take? You already gave us prayer, so we're going to... From Abuja, please go ahead.
The chairman of the board of Fidelity Bank, the directors here present and those online, my fellow shareholders, the regulator here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Patrick Ajudua. I say good morning to all. Mr. Chairman,
yes,
our
sir.
primary purpose why we are here is to tell you that we are in full support of what the bank intend to do in terms of private placement. And of course, we know very well that that is the best way to go. But, Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask you, have you identified the investor that we are talking about? And at what price are you looking at? Because we are very much sure that the shares will be given out to them at a price different from the market price. Mr. Chairman, since you're coming on board, we have witnessed a tremendous growth in the bank, along with the Amazon MD, Mrs. Neka. She has added more color and more color to the bank. That I
came before her.
Okay, yes. That I was so surprised that in just a little bit of time, we have gone this far. We appreciate you and we appreciate her and all the entire boards of the bank. So, Mr. Chairman, what is really our expectation as shareholders? One is to know exactly the application of the proceeds. We have understand that one, you are trying to acquire, or that you have acquired Union Bank UK. Is that the only area you want to apply the fund? Number two, what is the assurance that after the conclusion of the deal, it will lead to increase in dividend payments? We are concerned about it because we have received the 10 kobo. And last year you paid us 35 kobo as final dividend. We know when we are asking you, are you likely going to pay us above that 35 kobo you paid last year? Number three, what is the assurance that effort being made by the bank to take us from where we are to tier 1 banking in the likes of the big boys will be realized? I have no doubt, but we are looking at you to give us that firm assurance that within this year, before December, Fidelity Bank will move to be a major player along with the big boys in the industry. Mr. Chairman, on a final note, is also to place on record our appreciation to you and the board that what you have been doing in terms of dividend payments has been done with the interim, has shown, and that has resulted into an increase in the share price of the bank of recent. That has shown investors' confidence in the bank, shareholders' confidence in the bank, and those who are yet to come on board. Remember, there are those who are still sitting on the fence, and I'm calling on them to join the train before it leaves them behind. So, Mr. Chairman, we are a little bit worried because there are certain things that is happening that may affect this your projection. And one of those things was the last 2 days' comment from the central bank with respect to increase in monetary policy rate. That has increased the interest rate to 15.5% and has also increased the CRR to 32.5%. Yes, this is the highest in 2 decades in Nigeria. We are worried because, number one, it will result into a high interest on loans to us. Number two, it will also become a disincentive to stockholders and investors in the markets. And number three, banks' income will shrink in long time as the bottom line will be declining due to increase in the CRR. And finally, it will slow down the economic growth. So we are looking at CBN to please always add human face. And that is why I wasn't surprised at the National Assembly resolution on amendment of CBN to make sure that the chairman of the governing board of CBN is removed from the governor, so that at least it will not be the CEO and the adjutant general. Right, Mr. Chairman? And this is our expectation, that God willing, with you, with the board, and with shareholders, Fidelity Bank will rise above our expectation. Thank you very much.
So, may I ask, has he covered everybody's? I think he has covered a lot of things. What we don't want people to repeat what he has said. I've taken all these questions. If you permit me, I think in answering them, I will answer all your questions.
Yes, I will just ask you, what on this question?
You see, I have a problem. You had 30 minutes at the last AGM. I remember vividly your brilliant expositions. So we are still, our heads are still ringing from your exposition. So if you are willing to keep it to a minute or less, I will call on. No. I'm not. No. I'm going to say three under 1 minute. You, the lady, and him. 1 minute, please. Quickly, 1 minute, please. No, not you. We've forgotten you from last. We haven't forgotten you. No. Gentlemen. Okay. Okay, let us give the three of them a chance. They might cover it.
If they don't cover it, then you revert to yes.
With the permission, with his permission.
Now, what that assurance?
With Mr. Okeze's permission.
Because with due respect, the reason that you have called us is for us to add value.
I understand, but there's also a time limit.
I know.
But let's take the three, and then if they haven't covered it, we might. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. My name is Amy Folam Gafra, a shareholder of the company. I want to make comments on Resolution 1 and Resolution 3. Okay. On Resolution 1, I don't want to read over the resolution again. We have various options.
Yes.
Though from your commentary, some are covered. We have various options of utilizing, we are complying with Section 124, like cancellation of the unissued shares, utilizing the unissued shares to give bonus to us. Then number C, offering rights to existing shareholder in line with 142. I'll still discuss that on Resolution 3. The number 4 there is after exhausting all these options that we can now think of giving it to people that are not already shareholders. So my question now is, what is the rationale of gestioning all other options and going straight away to private placement? So
it has been covered by his question. I want to answer his question. I'll answer all those. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to. They're repeating. No problem, they're repeating the question.
On Resolution 3.
Yes, sir.
I want us to the board as a whole to take cognizance of Section 142 of CAMA on preemptive right of shareholders. In summary, it says that shareholders should have right to that new issue before giving it to outsiders. You understand? So, Madam is a lawyer. I want to just consider that.
Let me just say this to you. Sir. The reason why we're having an EGM is because of that exact issue. You have the right to waive it, and you have the right to not waive it. And what we are saying to you is that if you don't waive it, then yes, your rights come into play, but it might lead to a failure of the issue. So that's what we're saying. So we'll answer it.
No, we are supporting it. Not that we are not supporting it. I'm just saying we should be mindful of that.
I will answer because we are mindful of that. I will tell you all the deliberations.
Then on general comments, sorry sir.
Yes.
I want to commend the board of directors and management on our recently released results and the interim that we have given, and the issue of Union Bank UK that we are acquiring. So it's very commendable. With this interim that we are resuming, I hope the bank is going to Tier 1 very soon.
When well, we will discuss it.
So that's my. I'm commending the board for that. So it's a good one.
But I will answer the question.
Right,
we only buy Union Bank UK because he has an account there. Sam also has an account there. We wanted to make sure his account is. That's the only reason. The lady in the beautiful black hat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Barrister Detutu Shiyombola. Thank you for this opportunity. Well, my just point is, though we are giving you full support on all this resolution, I've given my CS, our CS, the assurance yesterday when we were talking, giving you people the full support on all the resolutions. But the assurance, I need as a person, as a shareholder, and as a shareholders leader, association's leader, the assurance I need is that this soup you are cooking now, by the time the food will be ready, I hope you will not shut us out. You won't say, okay, come and take your money and go. Please, we need that assurance that we will still be part of the thing, because we've seen that the thing is going brighter now for Fidelity. We've been with Fidelity for long and we still want to be part of the whole thing. That assurance is what we need. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Finally, thank you for your brief comment.
Thank you, our amiable chairman and board member. My name is Tunji Bamidele. I represent professional investors in this forum. Permit my chairman, in all ratification, we are here to give all necessary support, because I come from Oyo State and I represent a lot of people in that direction. Our little way advise this. Now, a lot of banks in Nigeria are looking at how they transform to the old co. With all this one, do you have some kind of intention? If you have it, we are ready to give you all necessary support. But return on investment is what major to us. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. It's a one question issue, not a speech. Please go ahead. With your permission. With your permission. This is campaign season, you know.
I've assured you that I'm not campaigning for any office. With due respect, Mr. Chairman, I will advise that please don't come to an EGM and AGM and say that the company secretary have asked you to ask a particular member of
That was in jest.
I know it's a
That was in jest.
I know, but I'm saying for people who are not here, the interpretation is different.
Nobody,
the main
okay.
question,
Okay,
the main question for me, before today, the bank was the 13th placed in terms of size of shares in issue, as listed on the NGS, and is the 8th largest, again, for the banking subsector in terms of shares in issue. Fortunately for us, two companies, one of them a bank, the other one non-bank, have also restructured their shareholding, which means the number of shares have shrunk. But that itself is still leaving us in position number 7 in terms of bank. And by the time we finish this exercise, we'll be moving to position number 6. It's important that an assurance is given that after all of this exercise, there would not be reconstruction. That is the first question. The second question that also has come up from this is with a 9.5% seeding via private placement. My expectation is that we'll not be earning anything less than 15 billion from this exercise after cost, and that we'll also not have a situation where the new investor will also be one that we have not assured that, oh, you are not likely to take more than X amount of
Well, that was in his question. That's what I said. I will answer it in his...
X amount of seats on the board. I'm not talking about...
I understand, but
okay, so
in my answer to him will reflect on those things.
Okay, so those are the two major areas I think that you should also give.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let me answer, because you asked a lot of questions. I think it covers what many shareholders are concerned about, and we thought about it. I'll give you some background. The man who approved the interim dividend, I mean, the chair of the committee, is Chidi Agbafu, is right here. And one of his biggest concerns was, is this sustainable? We're not going to issue interim dividend now and next year cancel it. And so he was when we convinced him that, MD convinced him that it was sustainable and it's now going to be part of our future, that he agreed. So we do have these discussions and we are concerned, and you can be sure that interim dividend will be paid next year and for the foreseeable future. So yes, no, well, I will get to that. He had the now, as for this, we'd like to follow regulations. So, do we have a sense that there are investors who are interested in this? Yes. Have we talked to any investors? No. Have we discussed price with any investors? No, because that would be unlawful. We need to get your approval here. It's only after this approval that we can in fact approach the authorities and apply to do this. So that's why there's time is of the essence. So to answer your question directly, we have not had any conversation with any investors, and we have not discussed price, because that would be putting the cart way before the horse. If we came here today and you said no, we want our preemptive rights, then that's the end of the matter, and we couldn't have wasted your money talking to all investors. So we have not. In terms of share reconstruction, we cannot, as a board of directors, give any assurances, but that will require approval of the company, the shareholders. So if any talk of reconstruction comes up and it makes sense, if it makes sense, we will consider it. We will do whatever makes sense for the bank. We will come back to you and say, we are looking at reconstruction, and you'll have your opinion time to air your views. But right now, we have not considered it. It's not on the table. It's not part of our program at this point. You asked about Tier 1. We are Tier 1. Tier 1 is an artificial construct that was created by AfriInvest. They came up with this Tier 1. And at the time that they came up with Tier 1, none of the banks that were Tier 1 then are bigger than we are today. It is our contention that it cannot be a moving target. It cannot be something we chase, somebody gets big, so we have to pass somebody to be Tier 1. I think when you get to a certain level of importance, certain level of complexity, then you are Tier 1. I think we're there. I think Fitch has recognized us as Tier 1. ProShare, which is one of the top investment letters, and we're going to get Pan-African Capital, I believe, and AfriInvest reviewing whether we're Tier 1 or not. We don't know what they will say, but we're fairly comfortable that the market is a matter, by the time when this year, next year, people recognize that we're Tier 1. We in the bank say we're Tier 1, and we will speak it into existence. And I advise all our shareholders to thumb their chest and say they own a Tier 1 bank, among others. We are Tier 1. I don't think we should. That's the Tier 1 thing. As for results at the end of the year, I can tell you that your MD is under tremendous pressure from the board. Every time we meet, we increase the target. Every time we meet, we increase the target. She's now afraid of board meetings. In fact, let me tell you, we have a retreat. We have a retreat in November, and because everybody's saying go here, but because she's worried about what we're going to say, we're going to Ghana. It's not that expensive, but it also takes us out, so we're in a different environment. Let them be going to Dubai and London. We will do our own here. It minimizes cost, because you fly 30 people to London, that's a big expense. So we want to do it here, and we want to keep expenses down. That's basically what we're trying to do. But she's worried about that retreat, because I know what the directors are going to say. They're going to increase the target. so she's ready for that. So our objective is to be the best bank in Nigeria. Our objective is to be the most profitable bank in Nigeria. We have a long way to go. But you will see, as you can see, the steps are being put in place. Acquisitions we will not stop with Union Bank UK. If we see anything that makes sense for us, we will do it. We will expand, we will acquire, we will do things that make sense for the bank. That's our objective. But I can assure you, we will be, in the next few years, I may not be here, but we will be the best bank in Nigeria. That's our objective, and we won't stop short of it. Luckily, we have a good team, and we have great shareholders who support us. And as we make more money, we will pay more dividends. I think that's what matters to you. Okay? I will allow the MD to tell us what she wants to do with all this money she's going to get.
Okay, fine. As you well know, Fidelity is growing in leaps and bounds. As you well know, Fidelity is growing in leaps and bounds. We can hardly keep up with the amount of business that's coming our way because we have a lot of visibility now. So to expand our capital basis, we need it like yesterday. So it's going to help us to grow the business and, of course, to churn out more money and to increase the dividend. So it's a win-win situation. Then, of course, you know technology has issues now because of all the cybercrime going on. So we're enhancing our technology play and to make sure that we're very secure. And with technology now, you have to pay so much because most of it is imported. It's not like Nigerian products. So it's a bit of an expense head, which we also have to, we need capital to be able to deal with all of that. So it's a real need that we have to increase our capital. Thank you.
Yeah, your final question was about interest rate, the CBN interest. What happened with the interest rate? Well, let me make you feel a little better. We at the bank have been anticipating for a long time that we're in a rising rate environment. And if you have the privilege to look at our board minutes, every time we talk about what are we going to do when rates rise, we know it's coming. We knew it was coming, and we're positioned for a rate rise. That doesn't mean we will not feel all the negative impact of it, but we are well prepared as prepared as we can be. It will not be very damaging for this bank because we saw it coming. And since you're here, we also feel that the rate rises have not ended. And so we will not be positioned in any way that it can significantly harm the bank because we see it coming. So I think there'll be another rate rise in the next year. I think there'll be other things like that. But as long as you're prepared for things, I think you will weather it better than other people who are not. So if I hope I've answered all the questions. And now we need to go to the business of the day. Please note that in accordance with the provisions of Section 248(1) of CAMA and Article 65A of the Bank's Articles of Association, as the chairman of this meeting, I hereby call for a poll in respect of all the items on the agenda. I must remind you that Article 68(1) of the Bank's Articles of Association provides that on a poll, every member shall have one vote each for each share of which is a holder. Please note that the voting will be conducted electronically and results displayed on the screen. I am informed that you are each given an electronic voting device upon accreditation by the registrars. The representatives of the external auditors, Deloitte and Touche, shall act as scrutineers. That's a new word. The registrar shall conduct the voting, and upon conclusion of voting on each resolution, display the result on the screen for all to see before proceeding to the next resolution. I request that you please use your devices to cast your votes. I now call on the registrars to explain the process for electronic voting. Registrars, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, esteemed shareholders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, for the purpose of the voting, you have been given your devices. For those who have already chosen proxies to represent them, you don't get a device. But for those who did not have proxies, submitted, you have a device. So now ensure that your voting device is blank. The face of it is blank. So if you are voting for any resolution, for instance, you are voting for a resolution, you press 1/A. If you are voting against a resolution, press 2/B, as displayed on the screen. I hope that is clear. If you are for a resolution, you press 1/A. If you are against a resolution, you press 2/B. So, so voting will now commence. Mr. Chairman, sir.
I hereby call on the shareholder to move the following resolution. That in furtherance of provisions of Section 124 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulations 2021, and pursuant to paragraphs 9 and 10 of the Articles of Association of the company, the Board of Directors of the company be and is hereby authorized to issue, by way of private placement, now I have to read everything now. The 3,037,414,308 unissued ordinary shares of 50 kobo each in the share capital of the company, being not more than 30% of the company's existing issued shares and paid up capital to potential investors. Who moves? Who will?
I told you, Elijah, I told you.
Huh? Will a shareholder please second the resolution? Yes. I will now put the resolution. I will now put the resolution to the meeting by calling on you to vote with your electronic devices. Don't worry, you'll move the next one, sir. Yes, voting. Yes.
So if you are for the resolution that has just been read by the chairman, please press 1. If you are against, please press 2. Please. The poll is open now.
I pressed.
We have 7 responses already. So please begin to count down.
Madam, my own is not working. It's not working. Its battery is down. Rub your hand.
Me and you will have tea after the meeting. So you know I like you. Oh, tea is not enough?
As a white man.
How about coffee?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
You know, maybe the device is very good for very short people. So very short people, when they press, it works. You don't have any short person here?
I don't see any short people here. Alhaji, who are you referring to?
Mr. Chairman, I want to be diplomatic.
Can we go ahead?
So please permit us to take this resolution, then we'll change the voting device for him for the next resolution, please.
Okay.
With your kind permission, sir. Okay, we'll quickly change it then. Just give us 2 minutes to do that.
We'll add his own manually, please. Can you display?
Okay. All right, please display the result. We had his own manually.
You have proxy. You voted. You voted by proxy. That's why. Can you display the result, please?
The results of the resolution is displayed. Is as displayed. We have a total of 908 shareholders voting physically and by proxy, and this represents 11,195,031,410 units of shares, representing 99.51%. And those against are 2 shareholders with 55,550,560 units, representing 0.49% of the issued and paid up capital. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion is carried. How come we have 100% when Alhaji didn't vote? I just Resolution 2. I hereby call on the shareholder to move the resolution. Mr. Boniface is here. That the private placement shall be carried out in a conformity with applicable laws and subject to procurement of all regulatory approvals. Yeah, just suppose we can hear you.
Mr. Chairman, I will write to second this motion.
No, you are moving. You are moving.
Okay, moving the motion.
Yes, sir.
In the sense that the board will bring somebody that will not trouble the bank at the end of the day.
Thank you very much. Who seconds?
I, Peter Yanuku, I second.
I will now put the resolution to a meeting, to a vote. Yeah. Yes. She'll put it up now. We haven't voted yet. She can't display the result yet. The first result has been displayed. Yes. Yes. No, it was displayed after voting. We have to vote. Okay, it's ready. It's ready, yes. Chicken, okay. We'll have chicken pepper soup afterwards. But I think he wants to, it's everything why he wants to offer him chicken pepper soup, not me.
No, he said beef.
You. Pepper soup, yes, now. Good pepper soup. Can we please vote?
Yes, please.
Are we ready to vote now?
Yes, sir.
Is it open?
Yes, sir.
All right, please vote.
Voting on resolution will now commence. Calm down, please. Poll closed. Please display the results. At the end of the voting on resolution 2, we have a total number of 909 shareholders voting physically and by proxy, which represents 11,195,035,54 units of the share capital of the company. That is 99.51%. And there are 2 against the resolution, representing 55,550,560. That is 0.49% of the issued and paid up capital of the company. Thank you.
I hereby declare the resolution carried. Resolution 3. waiver of shareholders' preemptive rights. I hereby call on Sir Sonny Nwosu to move the resolution that the members, in recognition of the need to ensure that the company's share capital is aligned with requirements under applicable laws, hereby waive the preemptive rights in respect of the 3 billion plus shares to be issued by the company by way of private placement. Sir Sonny Nwosu.
I do. I do.
Who seconds?
The issue is that the resolution has been read out and the secondary.
Can we please vote on the resolution, please? I do. I like that.
Resolution 3. Poll will now open. Begin to count down. 7 seconds. 4 seconds. Poll closed. Display the results. At the end of the voting on Resolution 3, a total of 907 shareholders present by proxy and physically voted for the resolution, which represents 11,194,980,549 units of the issued and paid up capital of the company, that is 99.51%. 3 shareholders voted against, which represents 55,600,560,000 units of the issued and paid up capital company, that is 0.49%.
Resolution carried. Yeah. Resolution 4. All shares purchased through private placement shall rank equal with existing shares. I hereby call on to move the motion.
Yes, excuse me. I so move. My name is Fidelity Bank EGM. I move the motion as pronounced by the chairman.
Thank you. Who seconds, please? Mrs. Oyenuga seconds. Please, let's vote on the resolution.
Resolution 4. That the said shares issued in accordance with Resolution 1 above shall rank pari passu with the company's existing issued shares. Voting will now commence. Please begin to count down. 3 seconds left.
Yes.
Poll closed. Kindly display the results. At the end of the voting, a total of 909 shareholders present by proxy and in person voted for the resolution, and this represents 11,125,391,389 units of the share cap issued and paid up capital of the company, that is 99.51%. 2 shareholders voted against, which represents 55,550,560, that is 0.50% of the issued and paid up capital of the company.
The motion is carried. Finally, Resolution 5. I'm going to call on my good friend, Mr. Nona, to move this. That the Board of Directors B, and is hereby authorized to perform all such lawful acts as necessary to give effect to the above listed resolutions, including but not limited to ensuring compliance with all regulatory procedures and requirements, obtaining all required approvals, and filing within time all regulatory returns in relation to the above resolutions. Mr. Nona.
I so move because I'm assured that the money that will come will be in excess of 15 billion naira. Thank you.
Who seconds? The ladies seconds.
I so second. My name is Esther Funke Augustine, sir.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Augustine. Can we vote on the final resolution, please?
The final resolution, resolution 5, is as displayed and as read by the chairman. Poll open. Please count down. Poll closed. Results. At the end of the voting, 909 shareholders voted for the resolution. This is 11,125,391,389 units of the issued and paid up capital of the company, representing 99.50%. And 2 shareholders voted against the resolution, which is 55,550,560 units of the issued and paid up capital of the company. That is 0.50%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First registrars, I declared resolution carried. Before making my final remarks, let me assure the shareholders that we have not engaged investors yet. We have not discussed price. But I want to assure you that we will do 2 things. We will try and maximize the price we get for these shares, while at the same time not alienating the new shareholders. It will not be one shareholder. It will be multiple shareholders. We don't want to alienate them because they become part of our family. And when you go to marry a wife, you don't hold up the husband for everything he has because it becomes part of your family. We want that middle ground where we get maximum value, but the people that are joining us are also happy to be part of the team. So we will do our best. We will maximize both of those variables, and I think you'll be happy with us when we're done with this. That's the most I can say. Dear esteemed shareholders, as a senior shareholder, you are welcome.
We are also happy to regulate, especially SEC, to give you all the necessary approval as soon as possible to file this in, because that's one of the worst regulator I've seen today in the country, that dragging the market down. The CBN can, understand their monetary and the sub policy, understand the system. The SEC, as a interest regulator, the capital must be proactive in giving approval to companies when they seek this issue. Because they took money, don't disinflate. What are you saying?
Okay.
I am saying that, as soon as you find those things, to them, they must give an urgent approval so it can be also proactive as you have been doing. The board is proactive in coming back after May 15 today, less than 4 months, are they jamming and taking this in. They must see that light of direction that is going to come. So what they're doing.
Okay, listen, we will take the positive part of this. We appeal to SEC to please support us. The other part about we can't dabble into, but I'm sure they have always been supportive with us. We have no complaint with SEC or any of our regulators. So let me, having concluded the business of which this EGM was convened, this brings to a close the formal business of the day. On behalf of the Board of Directors and management, I thank you for attendance and your robust participation at this EGM. As you depart, I wish you Godspeed and journey mercies. I also enjoin you to stay safe and be security conscious at all times. And I reiterate my offer to Mr. Okeze of tea, coffee, or chicken pepper soup. Only him. You know what they say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I will now call on Alhaji Umar Farouk to lead us in a closing prayer, please.
We thank God for taking us successfully through this extraordinary meeting, and we pray to God to help us succeed in this private placement. We pray to God to keep blessing Fidelity Bank, our MD, our chairman, our directors, management and staff of the bank, and shareholders. And we pray to God to give us peace and stability in this country. We pray for a very successful and peaceful election in the year 2023. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you very much. Before we leave, national anthem, please. Thank you, everybody.